There are blessings and curses to having a potentially disturbing opening. On one hand, you're going to grab people's attention. On the other, there is a risk of turning people off. The Ancient Magus Bride has one of those tricky openings that's bound to make some people squirm. As the story begins, our leading lady, Chise, decides to sell herself at a slave auction. I see you there, moving your mouse to the YouTube icon at warp speed. Stop. Wait. I know what I'm talking about, because this is what I did when I tried to watch the first episode of this show for the first time. But I promise you, if you can put up with about 6 minutes of internal discomfort, you will be rewarded with the ability to watch one of the most engaging fantasy romance stories I've ever encountered. And if you know me, you know that's my thing. That's the genre I love most. If there's one topic I'm confident in my knowledge of, it's fantasy romance. So, what is the Ancient Magus Bride? Well, it's the story of Chise, who is a human gifted with the ability to see fairies and other magical creatures, and an ancient skull-headed mage named Elias. He decides she's going to become his apprentice and learn magic. He also hopes that she will choose to become his bride. That last part is totally up to her. I want to make that part clear up front. The story covers roughly a year in their life together, and shows the slowly developing bond between them as they go on a wide range of adventures. If you have any interest in Celtic myths and legends, you're in for a treat, as those are sprinkled within this world liberally. There are also some very cool dragons, alchemists who don't always agree with mages, and a creepy dude who can't die and is quite upset about it. Trust me, there's a lot to keep you busy and coming back episode after episode. Whether your focus ends up being on the bond between Chise and Elias, the progression of Chise as she learns to be a mage, or exploring everything this incredibly rich story world has to offer, you will not be disappointed. Next, let's talk about our main duo. First up, we have Chise, a human with powers that define her as something known as a sleigh baggie to creatures within this magical world. This is a trait that runs in her family, and something that can be difficult for humans to endure. It eventually drove Chise's mother to such madness that she barely stopped herself from killing Chise before deciding to take her own life instead. Saying that Chise has had a hard life is beyond an understatement. When we meet her, she is at the end of her rope. And there is no telling what fate might have befallen her had she not met our male lead, Elias Ainsworth. He is not your typical pretty boy romantic lead. Instead, he's some weird combination of beast and Skeletor, but with way more elegance and class than either of those guys. Even if he does start the story as an emotionally repressed blockhead who has a long way to go if he wants to win Chise's affection. That's fine, since both of these characters have issues to work through. If one of them were already complete from word go, then the relationship would be unbalanced, and the story would suffer for it. The story of these two characters is filled with a stellar supporting cast, with each character weaving in and out of the narrative and adding their own unique dimension to the tale as a whole. While this is largely Chise and Elias' story, it has some of the best use and connection to supporting characters that I've ever seen. And given how this story works, these two really needed and deeply benefit from the bonds that they build with others, as well as those forged with each other. Despite all my praise, I would be doing a disservice if I wasn't upfront about the fact that there are a few scenes within this that might not be for the faint of heart. That didn't surprise me, given that we begin our tale with a girl selling herself at an auction. But I assured you that particular issue will not remain emphasized after roughly 6 minutes. I don't want to be mistaken for saying that every aspect beyond it will all be fluffy kittens and rainbows at all times. But did you really expect that when the leading man has a skull for a head? Just saying. If Beauty and the Beast and the Sorcerer's Apprentice had a beautifully written, anime-styled baby, it would be the Ancient Magus Bride. If you're looking for magic, romance, myth, and adventures, this comes with my highest recommendation. You can find Season 1 of The Ancient Magus Bride on Crunchyroll. And lucky you! Season 2 is starting on April 6th. So, if you like Season 1, there will be even more episodes to look forward to. Have you watched The Ancient Magus Bride? Are you planning to watch it? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.